Hey YouTube, this is The Art of Prepping. I think that one of my most common questions I get, besides firearm related and maybe water filters, and just basically storable food, is going to be what primary blade would you choose of all the hundreds, if not thousands of offerings? It can get very overwhelming. What I would tell you personally to do, and this is not going to probably be the easiest thing by any means, but this is just how you're going to have to probably go about it, though, to get the real answer for you, is to go to each company, look up a master list, for example, on Google, for example, and write out every brand, and go to every company website, or you can go to the really large retailers and kind of do it that way too, but you're not guaranteed that they're going to have every model. But you go to every manufacturer. This is what I've done. Yes, it's very time consuming, but if you want to get the answer, this is what you really have to do. There is no shortcut. And you go to every manufacturer and you simply look up all the models of fixed blade, and then you write down the ones that you like. If there's none that you like with that company, you just don't write nothing down. And then you go, after you get all your list from all those companies, you go and you look at the ones that you have put on your list and you whittle it down further. And at the end, you may want to go ahead and get maybe your top 2 or 3 on your list just to figure out which one you even want. And that's just the truth, I mean, it's because until you handle them in person and until you do the research, you're definitely not going to have a clue really what you want or even what's available. Now, with that being said, just because I think that people want me to say something and show them something, even though I can't really give you the real answer, I have picked and selected 3 of them. Now, one of them is more of a fighting knife. One of them is more what you would call a survival knife in a militaristic term, and the other one is more of a bushcraft knife. Not to say that they can't have multiple roles, like this Schrade SCHF 36 can definitely become a survival knife, not just a bushcraft knife. This Gerber Prodigy certainly could be a bushcraft knife to some degree, but it might be lending a little bit more as a fighting knife, though, than bushcraft. And then, of course, this Ka-Bar Short here is definitely a fighting knife, but you could press it into different roles of survival and maybe very limited roles in terms of bushcrafting, but it's doable. So without any further delay, here's the Ka-Bar Short. Has a decent sheath. This is the non-leather sheath option, and it has 2 strap button retentions and a 3rd built into the actual sheath. And here's the blade. This is of course the small. As you can see, it's barely fits my hand, and but it's a really quality made, decent knife. And I don't talk about this knife too much. It stays in one of my packs. That's why. But this is a very good option, and so this could obviously be employed as an option for under $50. But once again, though, as you can see with the profile, it's definitely thick enough to handle some chores. But between fighting and some survival applications, it's just kind of limited, just because of these the handguard and these quillions that come out. They're just a little bit in the way. Like, I don't like that. That's why this is not a bushcraft knife by any definition, in my opinion. And it's not even really my opinion, it's just a fact. Now, this Gerber Prodigy, it has 2 snap retention here and also a 3rd piece of retention in the sheath. So you kind of have to pull it out because there's a little bit of a friction there. And you can see this one is the half serrated, and this is an older model and Sandvik steel. I don't think they make this one anymore in this particular steel. And this is the all black, and it's really nice. I mean, it has a pretty freaking thick tang to it. It's a full tang. Now this Ka-Bar is, I believe it's a full tang, but it gets really thin, the tang inside the handle. Unlike this one, it's still pretty beefy. And as we move along here, this is definitely a great bushcraft option. And by the way, these are all, relatively speaking, within about an inch or so of size. So I just wanted to show you that these are not like completely different in lengths that much. They're just like, this one's a lot thicker. I mean, look at the difference, especially toward the Ka-Bar. So you can see there's a lot of different purposes. But man, this is a beast right here. This is a really great knife. Super great price point as well. And this one has a really beefy full tang. you could beat the heck out of this snot. You could beat the snot out of it is what I was trying to say, and baton, and you probably wouldn't break this. Made out of 1095 carbon steel. This K-bar is made out of 1095 Crow. I think it's called Crow Van steel. Excellent steel. And of course this Gerber it's a type of Sandvik stainless steel. And so these are just some options. Just to help everyone get a better handle on what's out there for under $50. You can get the Gerber Prodigy for around $40 to $45 all day long. This Schrade SCHF 36 typically between $32 to $35 all day long. And now this K-bar, I'm really trying to remember, but I keep on thinking it was between $40 and $50, but I don't know exactly what they are now. That's the only one that I haven't really looked up recently. But it's a cool knife, you know. It just depends on how, how much of a profile do you need and what kind of blade grinds and steels, and it gets real complicated. So you just simply have to do your research. But I just wanted to make this video. I've been getting so many requests to do maybe like a comparison, maybe for like a top 3. This really isn't what I would consider my top 3, but because people are asking so much for budget-related knives, and I understand why, there's a lot of hardship and the economy isn't so good right now in the United States. So this is probably one of your better bangs for the buck. Now, in terms of other things that I don't have represented here, I will add one more. The Gerber Strong Arm, and I hear that that's highly recommended. And if you want to check into that, that's cool. I don't think I'm going to get me that knife. It's very close in a lot of ways to the Gerber Prodigy, but the Gerber Strong Arm looks like it's a really well-made knife. It's a different kind of steel. I think it's a 420 high carbon, but it's well tempered, and it has a lot of great sheath options. And so you get a good bang for the buck. They typically go for between $45 and $50, and they have, I think, 2 different color variations. As always, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe, hit the like button. It helps the channel out greatly, and leave some comments and your thoughts, in terms of what you like about this video, things you want to add. Any blades that you would put into that category of $50 or under for a good general purpose survival knife. And of course, as we talked about, these would be considered a little bit different, like the bushcraft knife, survival knife, and maybe a fighting knife, but you could also put these in multiple roles. So if you have one that fits a certain role, or if you even believe that there's actually one knife that fits all roles, that would be really cool. Then put that down in the section below. Thanks again. We'll catch you real soon.